Prejan, welcome to the program. I just want to ask you, put it in context. As I said, it's kind of the first time since 1884 that this number of executions at a federal level is happening at this time, at presidential transition. Why does that matter, and why does that stand out to you?
What it highlights and what it exposes is just the complete capriciousness and venality of the death penalty put into the hands of government officials who, at their beck and call, can suddenly start summoning executions. The weakness in the way that the death penalty was set up by the Supreme Court in 1976 was supposedly for worst of the worst, with complete discretion of a prosecutor to seek death or not. It's in the hands of Trump, who then tells Barr, we can kill some people. Let's start lining them up. And that's what they're doing. And it exposes the basic weakness of a process that's supposed to be based on fairness.
Well, when you say fairness, I could ask you about all the death row prisoners who have been saved by people like Brian Stevenson and other many sort of activists from wrongful convictions. So when you say fairness, what do you mean in this case?
Yeah, well, and when you look at someone like the work of Brian Stevenson or Witness to Innocence, this group that works with exonerees, 172 wrongfully convicted people have been sentenced to death. For every 10 executions, one wrongfully convicted person has to be released. So when you use Brian Stevenson, there are few examples where people got plucked out of this and were saved, but it's not the system of the law and fairness. We have known how to apply, first of all, even to know what the criteria worst of the worst means. So that gets interpreted by state legislatures and individual prosecutors. Law is supposed to be predictable and systematic, and it's not. It's up to these individuals to pursue death or not. I just say, even as the nation is putting down the death penalty, my state, Louisiana, a former slave state, we killed 8 people in 8.5 weeks in the 80s. We haven't had an execution in 18 years. And there's no plans to go forward because the people have been educated and are coming to get it. Prosecutors aren't seeking it except for 2% of counties in the United States. Juries aren't sentencing people to death. We've been putting down death, but because Trump has the power to kill people, he's using it, and there's hardly any way to stop him.